Hi, welcome to Party Food Hero. I'm Aaron. Today we're going to be making a creamy onion bacony dip. It is really easy to make. It's super delicious. It goes great with a nice toasted baguette. It's great for any occasion, but especially like tailgating or just watching any sort of game at your house. It just makes a great dip. So I don't really have a name for this, but onion, creamy, bacon dip. Let's go check it out.
All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna score these onions about halfway to 3/4 of the way down in a checkers pattern or chess pattern, really whatever your favorite board game is, and in that fashion. All right, now we're gonna put on our liquid concentrate beef stock. Just get that in there, nice heartiness. And then we're gonna be putting two different types of seasoning. You can use whatever two you like. I really like this buttery steakhouse from Kinder's. It is delicious. I got it at Sam's Club. They are not a sponsor, but I would take the Walton family money whenever they wanted to give it to me. So you're gonna put that on there, and then that's a nice buttery, savory type rub. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I was wondering why I'm using a fork. I'm using a fork so I can try and get it in there more. Don't worry about using a fork, it doesn't matter. So do that one, and then I'm gonna put more of a kind of a sweet and spicy rub on next, which is am I grabbing it? Yes, perfect. I guess I'm not showing it to you. Maybe I'm going to. Oh yeah, I do. Smoky honey habanero, and that is from Spiceology. So you put that on there, and then we're gonna grab our cream cheese blocks and essentially do the exact same thing. So let's get to it. All right, so you're gonna take your cream cheese blocks. You are also going to score them in a crisscross applesauce pattern. And then you're gonna put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce on top instead of the concentrated liquid beef stock. So to score those, just helps with the smoke penetrating that block. It's really for nothing else, or maybe just because it's a cool looking pattern and you look super cool when you make scoring marks on your cream cheese. No one really knows. So anyways, you're gonna take your Worcestershire sauce and just do a few dabs on that. It's gonna give it some more savoriness. Oh, it splashes. And then I'm gonna put the exact same rubs that I put on the onion onto the cream cheese. So there you go. There's the Kinder Buttery Steakhouse one. And next is the Spiceology honey habanero something or other. It's delicious. So check that out as well. Now we are ready to go put this onto the smoker. But first, we need to put a couple of pads of butter onto each of the onions. Well, one pad per onion. And this is just gonna help with the caramelizing of these onions, or at least softening them and giving them some extra delicious flavor. Onto the smoker. So we got that smoker set to 350 degrees. We're gonna throw this on there for about 30 minutes, and then let's check on it. All right, it's been 30 minutes. That's what it all looks like. And now we're gonna chop up those onions. All right, now you're gonna take the onion and just chop it up. As you can see, that onion kind of bloomed out. Should call that a bloomed out onion is what I should call it. And you can chop this or dice this as thick or as small as you'd like. Probably next time I might dice it a little bit smaller. Although, I don't know, I thought it turned out great, but I could see if someone wasn't as psycho about loving onions as much as I am, especially grilled onions or smoked onions as these ones are. I could see maybe someone not liking it as much, but in all honesty, they soften up quite a bit. So even if they're bigger, it doesn't really matter that much. But to each their own. But yeah, this is kind of the quote unquote hardest part of this, is just chopping this all up. Also using a tiny cutting board, not the best method of doing this. So chop it up the most efficient way that you can, and then add it back into that pan with the cream cheese in it still. Look at that. Just terrible chopping job. I'm so sorry. Okay, now that we got those onions all chopped up, we're gonna add in our not sour. I was about to say sour cream. It is not sour cream. That is mayonnaise. Although, you know, you could probably use sour cream and it'd be all right. Throw in your mayonnaise and then mix it together. But before you mix together, add in your Parmesan cheese. Freshly grated Parmesan cheese, by the way. It does make a difference. So mix that all in together as carefully as you can. Try not to lose any of those onions or cheese. Just freshly grated Parmesan cheese just loves to escape. So mix that all together, and then we're gonna mix in some of the other cheeses as well. So use a good melty / flavorful cheese. I just had some sharp cheddar and some gruyere in my refrigerator, and so that's what I used, and it turned out fantastic. You could use pepper jack, you could use, you know, mozzarella, whatever you want to throw in here, but I would definitely use the cheddar cheese. The sharp cheddar cheese makes is so flavorful, and then just a good melty cheese. Just do what I do. You know what? Use the gruyere and the sharp cheddar cheese. It's a great combo. So do that. If you don't have it though, pepper jack would work great as well. So yeah, there you go. Mix that all together, and then I added just a little more seasoning on top. I just tried a little bit. It was great, but I wanted it even more flavorful, so I did a little bit more of that honey habanero, and then add in your green chilies. There's me testing it. You should always test your food and make sure it's seasoned correctly, and that's why I added a little more of the seasoning. So then you're gonna add in your green chilies, drained green chilies. So drain all that liquid out first and then put those in there. I think those are fire roasted green chilies too, so a little more smokiness added into this dip. And you're gonna mix that all in together, and then once that is done, we are gonna put this back into the smoker uncovered for about 40 minutes. So let's get to that. We have that smoker at 350 degrees. Toss it in there and just get ready for the deliciousness. And about 10 minutes before it's done, you're gonna take some of your bacon that you made and cut up and crumbled. Nice, fresh, crispy bacon. And you are gonna add this on top, like I said. So this has been cooking for about 30 minutes, and then it's got 10 more minutes to go. You're gonna throw in all that bacon on top. And that's just gonna keep it nice and crispy, give a nice texture, different textures in this dip, which makes it also just very pleasing to eat. So put that on there, and then another 10 minutes, and then you are ready to just have a delightful scrumptious dip.
All right, now for my favorite part of the video, I get to eat the food. So if you don't like onions, you probably wouldn't make this anyways, but you definitely wouldn't like it because it is a very oniony flavor. You know, there's a bunch of onions in it, so of course, but just as a warning. But obviously there's a lot more flavors that go into this dip than just onion, but onion is very pronounced in it. I like the bacon on top. It tastes delicious. I'm really hungry, so here we go. And that's just a really, really, really good hearty dip. There's just a ton of flavor in there is what I love about this dip as well. You get all of the seasonings that you put on. When we put on the onions, you get all that. You get the creaminess from the cream cheese, from the mayonnaise. You get that, the onion. It's not the raw onion. You get like a caramelized onion flavor that is just so good. And the onions are just perfectly cooked. They're soft. But you could still get a little bit of the texture in there. If you don't want the texture at all, you could cook it longer just so they're completely soft. But then you get that bacon at the end. This is just like a really, 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 really good dip that you could use for a bunch of different things. I mean, besides just a dip on its own, if you added this to like a hamburger or something, just like this, that would be really, really good. Go make it. If you love onions, especially if you love like caramelized onions or caramelized onions or grilled onions, you're really, really gonna like this. It is just a great dip. It's very delicious. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram at Party Food Hero. Go check out all the other recipes we have at partyfoodhero.com. Check out all the other videos. We have a ton of videos. There's no reason you shouldn't be making delicious food for yourself, for your friends, for your family, whoever. Website, super easy to use. When you click on the recipe, it actually brings up the recipe. I know, a crazy concept. You don't have to try and go through all the stupid stuff that all the other recipe websites have to try and find where the recipe is buried in their page, because recipe websites are the worst. So I made mine really easy, so go check that out. I want to finish this because it's delicious and it's amazing. So remember, be Party Food Hero. I'm telling you, man, that bacon too. Oh, this doesn't suck.
Be the Party Food Hero.